My phone buzzed, a frantic call from a neighbor. "You need to get down here now." He sounded breathless. "They're tearing up your grandpa's land." I dropped everything and raced over. What I saw made my blood run cold. Giant excavators were clawing at the earth, a huge sign proudly proclaiming future home of Sunny Pines community expansion. This was my grandfather's land, a place filled with childhood memories, now being desecrated. I spotted a woman in a crisp blazer, clipboard in hand, directing the chaos. I marched over, my voice tight with anger. "What do you think you're doing? This is private property." She barely glanced at me, a condescending smirk on her face. "I'm Diane, from the Sunny Pines HOA. And this is now HOA property, part of our new development." I couldn't believe her audacity. "This land has been in my family for 3 generations. We never sold it." She laughed, a short, sharp sound. "We have the paperwork. It was a foreclosure auction. Now, if you'll excuse me, you're trespassing." I stood there, stunned by her arrogance. Trespassing on my own land. Foreclosure. That was impossible. My grandfather had paid off this land decades ago. I pulled out my phone. "I don't know what paperwork you think you have, but it's fraudulent. My family has held the deed to this property, free and clear, since 1952. Diane just rolled her eyes. "Look, we bought it legally. The previous owner defaulted. It's a sad story, but it's not our problem. You need to leave before I call security." That's when I saw the trap she'd walked right into. They had built their entire multi-million-dollar expansion plan on a foundation of lies, and they didn't even know it. A slow smile spread across my face. "Oh, Diane," I said, my voice dangerously calm, "you really should have done your homework. Please, call security. And while you're at it, you might want to call your lawyers because you've just made the biggest mistake of your career." Her smug expression faltered for a second, a flicker of uncertainty in her eyes before she hardened it again. "Get off this property," she snapped. I just shook my head. "No, I think I'll stay. This is going to be fun to watch." The next morning, I was at my lawyer's office, laying out the whole insane story. He listened patiently, his expression growing more and more serious. When I finished, he leaned back in his chair. "They're claiming a foreclosure on a property that has no mortgage. This is more than just a mistake. This is gross negligence, bordering on outright fraud." He started making calls, and the picture quickly became clear. The HOA had purchased a portfolio of foreclosed properties in a bulk auction. My grandfather's land, with a similar parcel number to a defaulted property miles away, had been mistakenly included in the bundle due to a clerical error at the county records office. A single-digit typo. The HOA, in their greedy rush to expand, never bothered to perform their due diligence. They never did a proper title search, never verified the ownership, never even sent a certified letter. They just saw a piece of land on a list and assumed it was theirs. My lawyer smiled, a shark's smile. "They have no legal standing whatsoever," he said. "They are illegally occupying and destroying your property based on a faulty document they never bothered to verify." We filed an emergency injunction to halt construction and a massive lawsuit against the Sunny Pines HOA. The legal battle began, and it was brutal. The HOA's lawyers tried to bury us in paperwork, tried to argue adverse possession, tried to claim their investment gave them rights, but the facts were undeniable. The deed was in my name, inherited directly from my grandfather. There was no mortgage, no lien, no legal basis for a foreclosure. The clerical error was a fact, but the HOA's failure to do a basic title search was their fatal blunder. We presented evidence of the land's value, not just its monetary worth, but its ecological and historical significance to my family. We documented every tree they'd bulldozed, every ton of soil they'd displaced. The judge was not impressed with the HOA's defense. In court, Diane from the HOA was grilled on the stand. "Did you, at any point, conduct an independent title search on this specific parcel before commencing construction?" our lawyer asked. She stammered. "We relied on the documents provided by the county auction." He cut her off. "So, the answer is no. You spent millions of dollars based on an unverified list." The courtroom was silent. The HOA's arrogance had been laid bare. Their defense crumbled. They had gambled everything on a typo, and now it was time to pay the price. The climax came when the judge delivered his verdict. It was scathing. He called the HOA's actions reckless, arrogant, and a stunning display of corporate negligence. He issued an immediate court order. The HOA was to cease all activity and demolish every structure they had built on my land. Every foundation, every road, every single pipe had to be removed. But he didn't stop there. He ordered them to restore the land to its original condition, a process that would cost them millions more than the construction itself. And then came the final blow. He awarded my family a massive settlement for damages, trespassing, and the emotional distress they had caused. The figure was astronomical, enough to put the Sunny Pines HOA on the brink of bankruptcy. I watched Diane's face crumble as the verdict was read. The smug confidence was gone, replaced by pure, unadulterated shock. The mighty HOA, which had bullied residents for years over trivial things like the color of their mailboxes, had been brought to its knees because they were too arrogant to check a single document. Weeks later, I stood on the edge of the property, The sounds of construction were back, but this time, it was a wrecking crew, tearing down the half-finished monuments to the HOA's greed. The land was scarred, but it would heal. It was my land again. I had faced down a corporate Goliath and won. It was a powerful reminder that no matter how big or powerful someone seems, the truth is always bigger. You just have to be willing to fight for it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.